Oh, shit.
Oh no!
Oh, shit. Oh my god. Fettuccine just he just took a suicider like a champ. Didn't even flinch. Fettuccine just shrugged off a suicider like a champ.
Shortly after Fallout 4 released, Bethesda, in their embodiment that vaguely resembles a deity, announced that Fallout 4 would have 6 DLCs. The prophecy has been foretold. However, as time passed, more and more people began to realize the error of these DLC packs. Fettuccine Alfredo, through his travels around the Commonwealth and beyond, discovered that 3 of the 6 DLC packs are about building settlements, and thus irrelevant. 2 were poorly made story expansions with gimmicks, and only 1 was actually good. Welcome back to Challenge Chronicles. Today's episode, Fallout 4, Far Harbor with only a rolling pin. That's right, Fettuccine will take his final bow today in the Fallout 4 Far Harbor DLC. This is Fettuccine's swan song, his magnum opus. All he has to do is this one last job, and then he can finally retire. So, without further ado, let's see what he did. I loaded up the most recent save from Fettuccine right after I finished Nuka World. Immediately after I installed the DLC, got an audio transmission from the Valentine Detective Agency in Diamond City. But before I could listen to that, a random raider tried to interrupt Fettuccine's thought process and was dealt with accordingly. I of course mean he was murdered and his flesh was consumed. I then listened to the Valentine Detective Agency frequency and heard Valentine's secretary alerting me that the Girl Scout cookies that I ordered had finally arrived at the office. No, not really. She told me to come see them in Diamond City for a new case. This one is once again a missing persons case. That seems to be the only kind of case possible in the Commonwealth. I mean, we all know investigating a murder is fucking pointless. Ellie informed me that the case is from a Mr. and Mrs. Nakano, a family who live so far outside the walls of the map that not even Fallout 4's ghastly draw distance can save them. Essentially, Mr. and Mrs. Nakano's daughter is missing, and they've hired me, the person who has met the actual detective literally once in my whole life, to find her, and not the actual detective. Sure, why not? Yes, I know you're supposed to bring Valentine to Far Harbor for reasons I'll get into later, but I really don't care. So I took off for the Nakano residence. On the way up north, I killed an alpha deathclaw, just casually, and some glowing blood bugs. I took in the sights of the lovely northern beaches of what I can only describe as purgatory, killed a few Mirelurks, killed a few fellow human beings, filed for a new driver's license picture, and only then did I eventually reach Nakano's residence. Immediately upon arriving, I told Nakano that I am the detective that he sent for and began investigating the house. I found a number of holotapes, each less fascinating than the last, and then deduced with my Sherlock brain that, yeah, she just fucking left, lol. Yep, so it turns out that Katsumi got into contact with a settlement called Far Harbor, where they started asking a bunch of questions. Who are you? Where do you live? And what's your mummy's credit card number, among them. She did not have answers to these questions, and so she convinced herself with 100% fucking certainty that she is in fact a synth and left for Far Harbor. I informed Mr. and Mrs. Nakano of her daughter's fate, and Mr. Nakano insisted that I use his grandfather's boat and go after her. So I set off and arrived in Far Harbor. Upon arriving in Far Harbor, I met Avery, the leader of the Far Harbor village. She informed me that she and her village don't take too kindly to outsiders normally, unless they admit themselves to a trial by fire and defend the town from, say, a horde of gulpers. So that's exactly what I did. Gulpers and anglers started swarming the gates of Far Harbor, and that's when I realized I am just too goddamn high level for this DLC.
Oh, donk. Die. Donk.
Fettuccine is a machine. He absolutely obliterated these gulpers in one hit. Even this legendary glowing angler was absolutely annihilated before the might of Fettuccine.
Die. Oh, one shot. One shot.
I even stopped once just to check if I was still on normal, because I was absolutely destroying them so easily. After basically single-handedly saving the town, Avery rewarded me and told me that if I want to find Kasumi, I should go talk to an old man named Longfellow. So I found the man that they call Longfellow, and he offered to lead me to the place where Kasumi was, Arcadia, the land of the synths. I followed Longfellow, where we took on some trappers that were just hanging out, and Fettuccine once again completely destroyed them all in one hit. Oh my god! Fettuccine's a monster! Fettuccine is growing in power with each passing moment, and soon he'll be unstoppable. I continued on with Longfellow, we killed a few Mirelurks, and then we met this child of Adam. She tried to convince me to ditch Far Harbor and the synths at Arcadia and join the Children of Adam, a religious group that worships... I told her to piss off, and then I went to Arcadia, discovered it, and then told Longfellow to piss off as well. I then entered Arcadia and met Dima, the leader of the synth group on the island. Dima prattled on and on about how synthkind must be understood, just as man needs to be understood, and Kasumi has a chance to exist here as a synth, and blah 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 blah. Then I thought it right to inform him that not only is the Institute reduced to a pile of rubble, but I'm also a paladin of the Brotherhood, as I'm sure most of you have forgotten. He didn't seem to care much, because of course he doesn't, and then he told me that Kasumi is just downstairs, so I went there and talked to her. She justified her actions as keeping her parents safe from the horrible truth that she is in fact an attack helicopter. No, she believes with 100% certainty that she is a synth, and when I ask her for evidence of this revelation, she says, "Do you have any proof that you're actually a synth?"
Things, dreams of waking up in a lab, years I can't remember from when I was a kid, not to mention how I never quite fit in back at home.
Well, la-di fucking da, we must all be synths then. Anyway, she told me that she has a sneaking suspicion that Dima isn't the grand peacemaker that he says he is. She said that she found strange data that Dima has offloaded into the central computers, such as nuclear launch codes, death counts, and a model for the fog that encompasses Far Harbor. She urges me to investigate, and here is where the player can tackle this with a dizzying number of options. What should I do? Should I use my lockpick skill to open the master door? Use my hack skill to... No. I just talked to Dima myself because Fettuccine has almost max charisma. I convinced Dima to spill the beans about the accusations, and he informs me that there has been some rising tensions on this island between the synths of Arcadia, Children of Adam, and Far Harbor. He then tells me to go to the Nucleus, the home of the Children of Adam, in order to access Dima's old memories, because for some reason, that's where they keep them. So I have to infiltrate the Nucleus by pretending to be one of them, and then I have to find these offloaded data centers. Sounds pretty easy.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
So I took off for the Nucleus. Nothing really of note happened on the way there. I ran away from the Yaoguais and took a dip in the irradiated river, and then I arrived. When I got there, Richter was there and used his death ray gun to turn one of his brethren into soup, and then I talked to him. He said in order for me to get access to the Nucleus, I have to become indoctrinated into the Children of Adam. And to do that, I have to go somewhere called Adam Spring and drink the uranium water there. I did toy with the idea of just sneaking in there and getting to the console the old-fashioned way, but then I remembered Dima's kind warning.
Whatever you do, don't assault the Children of Adam directly.
So I decided to just go drink the Baja Blast fountain or whatever. Nothing really happened on the way to the fountain. I mean, my game crashed, but that's pretty normal these days. When I arrived at the Baja Blast fountain, I consumed the irradiated glowing liquid. Yeah, sure, this seems like a great idea. I immediately started hallucinating a figure leading me towards something, saw that coming a mile away. So I followed it. The figure led me to this building surrounded by ghouls, but Fettuccine quickly tackled this incursion. I then got extremely lost trying to find the password to this terminal, even though it was literally right there! It's fine, whatever. Ah, here we go. I entered the locked room, found this mother icon, then I killed this legendary ghoul, and left for the Nucleus once more. And that was one of the many lies I've hidden throughout this series. Can you find them all? I actually traveled to Far Harbor to pick up some Rad-X because after getting that mother idol, I have absorbed enough radiation poisoning to be visited by the Avengers 17 times over. So I went over to the vendor in Far Harbor and sold all of my junk for all the Rad-X and Radaway that I could carry, and then exited Far Harbor. I was interrupted by a Mr. Gutsy who wanted my help with a murder mystery, but I don't take cases from clankers. Now I'm sure you're wondering why I took this case then, because Valentine gave me this one. And that's because I've destroyed the Institute, and Valentine, being a synth, is most likely depressed as all hell. It warms my heart seeing him so sad. So I took this case just so I could keep seeing him so miserable. That's also partly why I left him here instead of taking him with me to see Dima, his brother, so I could regale him of the tales of his brethren without ever allowing him to see them. After I ditched Pearl, I then travelled back to the nucleus to try and get my hands on Dima's memories. Outside of the nucleus, I showed Richter the mother idol I found, and he prattled on about how I'm the chosen one, nothing that Fettuccine doesn't already know. Then he gave me some cloves that give me rad resistance, and I headed inside. Inside the nucleus, I ran past everyone towards the nucleus command center and took on the defenses around it. There were some lasers, that was no problem, and then there was the protectrons and assaultrons. Lord knows how much I hate these things. I died 1 or 2 times to the assaultron guarding the command center because its eye laser punctured my everything and rendered my innards into outers. Eventually I got past the assaultron defenses and then I accessed the console. I was then subjected to what was probably the worst fucking puzzle I've ever seen in my entire life. Too expensive to upgrade piece by piece. Oh, that's fair. That's fair too. What the hell is this? What the hell is this?
If you were listening to this, then you made it inside my memory banks. Take a moment. I know it's a lot.
What the f is this? Am I playing frickin' Minecraft? So I have to access Dima's memory storage, and to do that, I need to get these green bug things all the way to this orange beam and back again. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. I'm gonna skim along this section to save you guys some time, because a lot of it was just me attempting to utilize my 1 remaining brain cell after being flashbanged by Instagram Reels 1 too many times.
Squid Game.
What I mean by that pile of words is that I'm dumb, and this puzzle, if you can even call it that, confused me. The first one I had almost no trouble with, just figuring out the controls of the code world. The second puzzle had me stumped for a little while, because I didn't see this path beneath me that had a block that was blocking the laser that opened the path for me, I guess. The third puzzle is where shit started to get real. I had to redirect a beam into this wall to gain access to this beam emitter, then I had to Minecraft jump build to this one and redirect the beam into this wall whilst also redirecting this beam into this one, but I can't do that very well because the fucking building mechanics in this game is fucking... Anyway, I got to the 4th one, stopped streaming for the day, came back the next day, realized that I didn't save, so I had to do all that all over again. All the way back here, no.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Did the first 3 puzzles again, got back up to the 4th one, and the 4th one was just needlessly long. Honestly, it wasn't hard, just time consuming. After that, I was stuck on the 5th one for so long. I sat there, scratching my head at this puzzle for over half an hour, not knowing what to do because my only experience coding is making 2D Minecraft on Scratch in primary school. I eventually gave up, looked up a guide, and the solution I was apparently supposed to automatically know was... aim the main beam to the left, build over here, place a mirror block here, build over here, build over here, place a mirror block here, so it goes through the middle of the circle in this part, place a mirror block here, then redirect it to the center, and then put a mirror block here. What? How the absolute fuck was I supposed to do that? Whatever, I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'm just glad this part is over with. So I retrieved Dima's memories and then I was finally able to progress. One of Dima's memories mentioned him killing someone and burying them nearby, so I travelled to the Vim factory, whatever that is, and then killed all the super mutants inside. Once again, Fettuccine absolutely obliterated these people. After that, I grew tired and weary from obliterating super mutants and wrapped up the stream for the day. The next day of streaming, I discovered the dirt mound that apparently had the body inside, and I dug up Avery's body. Avery, if you don't know, is the leader of Far Harbor that we met at the beginning of the DLC. So essentially, what this means is, Dima killed the real Avery and replaced her with a synth some time ago, and then erased the memory from his brain. Or whatever he has in there. So I went to Kasumi to report what I found, but not before I ran into a super mutant suicider and Fettuccine tanked an explosion from them like a Chad.
Oh no!
Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. God. Fettuccine just fucking... He just took a suicider like a champ. Didn't even flinch. Fettuccine just fucking shrugged off a suicider like a champ.
Back at Acadia, Kasumi was shocked to hear what I found and left the choice of what to do next with that information up to me. So I have a couple of options here. I can either A, go tell Far Harbor and basically cause World War III, or B, go tell Dima and confront him. I went with option B because I wasn't about to get wrapped up in a huge conflict for no reason. Also, Far Harbor is all the way on the other side of the island, and I'd have to go through several loading screens first. Dima freaked out when I told him the information, understandably, and then asked me to help him cover up the secret. I agreed. Then he pulled a complete 180 and told me to help him do the exact same thing to the leader of the Children of Adam. What? I thought you regretted your actions. Isn't that why you, erase your own memories? Whatever. I don't care. So I agreed to help him. Essentially, the first step in the plan is to recover the tapes of the old leader of the Children of Adam, Confessor Martin. I traveled to the little shack that housed the tapes, listened to them while I obliterated some trappers and bandits, and then I returned to Dima. The second step in the plan is to alter the tapes so it sounds like Martin is coming back from the dead. Dima told me to play that tape in front of the new High Confessor, Tectus, so he'll trust me to meet him in a remote location so I can deal with him. I received the tape, and then I quickly darted to Far Harbor to gather some supplies, and I traveled back to the nucleus. I talked to Tectus, and we conversed at length about what our favorite Pokemon were, and then I casually mentioned that his predecessor is coming back from the dead. I played the tape, and I told him to meet me near the command center. I got to the command center, and waited in anticipation for him to arrive, but the jig was up. Tectus called me out on my bullshit and demanded that I spill the beans about where Martin is hiding and what his plans are. I'm trying to avoid killing him, so I quick saved and tried to convince him to run away. That failed, and then his kin unleashed the wrath of Atom upon me. To say that they absolutely obliterated me is an understatement. His soldiers fired such an alarming amount of radiation beams through my body that I'm pretty sure the victims of fucking Chernobyl were looking down from the heavens and thinking, a bit much. I reloaded a save and tried again with the charisma check, and this time I passed, thank fuck. Tectus pissed off, and then I returned to Dima to tell him the deed was done. Dima had an identical synth replacement, following Tectus's shoes, and then congratulated me on bringing peace to the island. At what cost? Everyone was getting along now, and all it took was to force everyone into submission by killing their leaders and replacing them with robots that obey us. Amazing. Now, there was only one thing left to do. I talked to Kasumi, and she told me that now the island is at peace, she no longer needs any more answers, and tells me she's ready to return home. I traveled back to the Nakano residence and saw Kasumi return to her parents. Mr. Nakano told me where his grandfather's old stash of beer was as a reward, so I went and dug it up. And that's it. That's a wrap. I just completed Fallout 4 Far Harbor with only a rolling pin. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of another video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button. Alternatively, if you hated it, go ahead and hit that dislike button, and feel free to go down to the comments and tell me all the other ways I'm a total fuckhead. I had a lot of fun streaming this on my Twitch, so if you want to get in on that, the link is, as always, in the description down below. If you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's totally free, it helps me out a lot, and I make this kind of content all the time. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks so much for tuning into Challenge Chronicles, and I'm out of here.
Fettuccine Alfredo in the flesh, or rather in the mechanist's suit. I took the liberty of relieving you of your stim packs. Most of them were government property. As for the chef's hat, I think you've earned it. The final DLC pack of Far Harbor is in our control for the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you've managed over there. I am impressed. That's why I'm here, Mr. Alfredo. I have recommended your services to my employers, and they have authorized me to offer you a new challenge. They agree with me that you have limitless potential. You've proved yourself a decisive man, so I don't expect you'll have much trouble deciding on what to do. If you're interested, just step into the portal and I'll see you up ahead. Otherwise, well, I can offer you a battle you have no chance of winning. Rather an anticlimax after what you've just been through. Time to choose, Mr. Alfredo.
Cryogenic array. All residents must vacate immediately.